That's a thing.
Moving a thing right here.
Good morning, Lisa. We're having a little trouble with connectivity. We're way deep in the country and can't get the Wi-Fi password. I'm Tennessee. These are my old friends. As you know, Tim we did a live stream this summer in his cornfield. We're going to talk to Tim about how the corn did. And Frances is over here. There you are. Where'd you come from? This is Frances. She's going to be she is making breakfast for us. She's going to make homemade biscuits. We're going to have molasses and the smoked sausage.
Right.
The smoked sausage that Tim smoked. Good morning, Daryl. Good morning, Edwin. Oh boy. Good morning, Mix. Mix is in Latvia. He tunes in all the time. Mix is a young man in Latvia. Tim's going to show us a few of the details of this old farmhouse, which was in his family since 1800s, and they've done so many modifications.
Yes, exactly.
Practically the whole thing has been modified, but I should say renovated, or I should say supported.
Yeah.
But let's go into the kitchen, and this entire kitchen has been redone. Dutch oven or double oven, Dutch oven. Francis is over here making busy. There we go, making us.
Well, it's just come from a supplier that does his own homegrown smokehouse.
And where's your smokehouse?
It's up by Aqua, our other house.
Oh, okay. But it's an actual old smokehouse?
Yeah, it's not as old as the one that was here, but it was made in about 1970.
Tell me about this house.
The house was built in the 1880s. There was 2 rooms, 32 by 16, that my grandfather built. They raised 7 kids here.
7 kids.
And
including you. No, this was
me.
his family.
His family.
Okay.
Yeah. So we moved in here in 1975 back and then started a renovation on the house. We've added to it multi times because it was so small.
Yeah, it was probably a 2 or 3 room.
It was basically, at that time it was 3 rooms and a den, a very small kitchen, bath, and then a 1 bedroom.
It had a bathroom? No.
A small bathroom we put in.
Oh, yeah. It had no bathroom originally, not in the 1800s.
No.
Let's take a look at these are the old. This is the old stone fireplace. Tell me about that.
Well, the fireplace was built by my grandfather. He was a rock mason, and his dad helped him with it. And they built it when they built the house. This was the outside of the wall, which you see on each side of it, original house. And they had lived here with a little ceiling in it with an upper room and another upper room that they stored vegetables in it through the winter, like potatoes and things. And
upstairs.
We had 1 bedroom.
Uh-huh.
I used to come down there to visit a small child, and there was a bed in every corner.
Every corner.
Every corner had a bed, so everybody had a place.
Well,
to stay.
you were like 6'5", right, Tim, or something?
I'm 6'2".
Oh, 6'2"? Okay. Well, but you and your son have trouble like
We had trouble getting in the house. He's 6'7", and because the ceiling was so low, I could just kind of jump up and then hit the ceiling. So I got a wild notion and took the ceiling out and made what you see now.
That's beautiful. And how did you decide to use the barnwood inside? And where did the barnwood come from?
The barnwood came from a smokehouse on the property and an old barn that we had on the property and a corn crib. So we got enough material off of it to put on the inside of the house.
Wow.
So again, it was old, and I like that old look.
Yeah. Well, I think it's beautiful and very. And tell me about this. This is a beautiful. This puts out a lot of heat.
It's a fireplace. It's a soapstone fireplace made up in Vermont. And the whole deal, we went to buy the stove down in Alabama and ended up buying the other kitchen appliances while we were there.
Uh-huh.
Found a deal on them and went back after them later on.
Soapstone is stone.
It is stone.
And that's what radiates the heat out of it. This part is soapstone. And the rest is cast iron, obviously. And you can cook on it if you said
Yes.
you did cook on it.
We have cooked on it during power outages and things.
And let's see, and this is,
That's a pretty cat.
Okay, so that was ready.
the what's ready? The dough. Okay, let's do it. Hey, Toby, good morning.
I just mixed it by hand.
Ooh, that sounds fantastic, Toby. I didn't get a chance to read that whole comment.
And these are
okay.
the ingredients that I use.
Oops. Cancel. There you go.
I'm gonna cut it out,
Yep.
put it in the stone.
Now, you don't have a whole lot of flour on you. Last night you had flour all over.
I was doing fried pies.
Good morning, Toby. Toby's tuning in. I think, Toby, you're in Florida, right? And so how many do you usually make? I mean, because you have a big Friday night dinner.
Uh,
Usually.
Yeah, I make a large pan, probably 30 biscuits.
30?
Uh-huh.
How many are you going to make this morning?
Probably about 10.
Yeah. How many think we'll eat?
I'll eat one,
Only one?
maybe two. You'll eat three.
Yeah.
Molasses, I have some molasses here.
Oh, goody. Where'd you get the
Come from your Mennonite fellow that I dealt with, and he raises the cane and has it processed by some more.
Can you open it, Tim?
Show the opener.
Yeah.
This
Oh.
is an opener made by my daddy.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Look at
they,
that.
actually, Cracker Barrel wanted him to make a mass quantities of those. And it's for people that have no strength in their hands anymore. It's just
I need one
well,
like this.
I have one.
You do?
I do.
You have one for me?
I have one for you.
That your daddy made?
No, I made
Somebody.
it.
Oh, you made it?
Yeah, my daddy.
I made them.
No, he made it.
Oh, I want one of
They're
these.
just like it.
You know, I have a hard time opening hard jars.
And my
Oh, look at this.
granddaughter Audrey painted on the one you're going to get.
Oh, wow. I'm going to, whoops. I'm going to taste this. I absolutely,
Tim put the sausage.
it's so good. Okay, you don't need to see me. You need to see the sausage. That looks so good. Lisa wants to know if we can buy those openers. I mean,
if Tim will get busy, he could. Because they are amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I can't wait to
I would
experience
try
one.
those later on.
Well, you're whipping those out pretty fast there.
We're done.
You're done. Okay.
Except we'll put buttermilk on top of it.
Oh, you are?
Mm-hmm.
What do you just brush it on?
No, take a spoon
Oh,
and dip it off.
you take a spoon of buttermilk
Uh-huh.
and just let me see you do that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. Oh, that's buttermilk.
This is what my mama did. She'd add it.
Is that what they call buttermilk biscuits?
I know I made it with buttermilk, so I think that's why it's called buttermilk biscuits. But she always did this, which I guess gave it a crispier. I don't know. She just did it, so I did it.
Oh, your mother?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
They're ready to go in the oven.
All right. Well, yeah, I wanted to have Tim. Tim, why don't you come in here and we're going to sit down and talk about. Oh, wait, he wanted to do a jar opening demonstration. Didn't we just do that?
We did.
Daryl, I thought we just did that.
We can do it again.
We can do it again.
All right, let's have a jar.
Okay, let's have a jar.
See a jar.
You see, explain how it works, Tim. Hold this thing up and explain how it works. Tim painted it or whatever.
My mama painted.
Oh,
On
your
the
mother
back-
painted.
On the back of it, it's got a blade to come off a bandsaw blade.
Oh, it's actually, oh,
And
wow,
where it
that's,
grips.
I don't
And
know,
then it's
let's see if we
wedged.
can see that better.
And you can do
Try this.
small.
Oh, it's just on one side.
And large lid.
Oh, it's a saw blade that's embedded in here.
Right. It's a bandsaw blade.
A bandsaw blade, okay,
And the handle usually leveraged to open it up.
right.
And it fits any jar, anything from a Coke bottle
Here, you
on
can do
up.
it.
Wow.
So you can do that.
Oh, wow.
So it's good for people who have gripping problems, arthritis, or anything like that.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of people who
There you
do.
go, spilled the milk.
Whoops, spilled the buttermilk. There we go.
That's all
Hey,
right.
hey, Diana. She says she has one of those jar openers, but it's plastic.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they existed. Watch this. This is easy.
Daryl says, fantastic. He will make one immediately. No doubt, Daryl, you'll make it out of bamboo. Daryl is in Putnam County, Tennessee, and Connie says you need to start an Etsy shop and start selling the jar openers. Well, Connie, then Tim would just be making these things, and he wouldn't be raising corn. Tim, why don't we go in here and while she's finishing breakfast, and hold on a second. So sorry, everybody. I don't have a connection with the Wi-Fi, so we're just kind of loosey-goosey today. But if you recall, I had the very first season, 2012. I had a video with this man, and he took me out into his cornfield. We did a whole video there, and Mary says, what a beautiful home. All right, yeah, enjoy the biscuits. We will. And maybe Lisa. Anyway, I was back this summer, and Tim took me to the cornfield, and I wanted to show everybody the corn and the meal and have Tim talk about it. So, Tim, why don't you, first of all, I'm going to turn this around, and I want you, first of all, to tell about the corn and the cornmeal.
Well, we raised two types of corn dinner that summer. This is called Virginia gourd seed corn, which was developed by Thomas Jefferson. We call it just gourd seed corn because it has a very thin seed like a pumpkin or a gourd seed. It's very small. And it doesn't make a lot of meal, so you have a lot of chaff, but the ears are big, so you get corn off of it. Mm-hmm. And this is a heritage corn, again by Thomas Jefferson. This is Hickory King. It's an old heritage corn that most of the people in the South use for sweet corn and for grinding because it is a flint type corn, which means it's super hard. All of them are dent corns, and it has 8 rows per ear as you walk it around. So it's always a big thumbnail type of grain. Mm-hmm. And it has 8 rows. It's easy to identify like that.
8 rows. Okay. And other corn has how many rows?
Depending on the corn, they have multi-rows.
Oh, okay.
So, but then we've got some products here. This is some of the gourd seed corn meal.
Okay.
It's white, really white, fluffy. And this is some Bloody Butcher that we raised. It's a red corn. It's also a very flavorful heritage type corn. And this is the Hickory King. And it's also a white.
Hold on one second. Toby says he bets there's tons of deer in your cornfield.
Yes, they are. Before we pick it and after we pick it.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, the grits that are made from the Hickory King.
Okay.
So, and we also make the grits out
of this. This is the grind for cornbread?
cornmeal, cornbread.
Cornbread. This is the grind for grits,
Right.
which is coarser, as you can see. And then this is the grind for
Meal.
for cornmeal. That's soft. And that's blue corn.
That's red corn.
Oh, red corn. Is it red?
Uh-huh.
A little bit reddish, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what?
This is the Hickory King.
And this is cornmeal.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we only have 1 grits here.
Right.
Okay. Daryl just had me for breakfast, and Daryl, if you're still there, tell me about that yellow corn grits in 1 sentence, please, because he said it's very unusual to have yellow corn grits.
Right. The South people raise 2 types of corn, mostly for one race or their animal that was yellow corn, field corn. They didn't really eat it. They raised sweet corn or white corn, and especially Hickory King or heritage type corns, different brands that they used to take to the mill and make their cornmeal out of that lasted through the winter. And they fed it to sometimes their animals and stuff, they had any left over, but it was their main eating corn, was the white corn. So grits were always made out of white corn in the South.
Okay. And so, so Daryl, explain to me again, I know you did, but when you made the yellow grits, what was the story there? Okay, so let's sit down, Tim. And, first of all, I wanted to show you this beautiful, you can sit down, Tim. I wanted to show you this Frances just took her fall decorations down yesterday before I got here. And she's just started putting up her Christmas decorations. But this is the grand hall, her grand hall that she had to have. And this was added on to one of the many additions onto the old farmhouse. If you look through here, you see the back side. I was just going to say to him that this fireplace was actually on the exterior of the old cabin,
Yes.
right? And so what they did was they took out the wall, put it inside the house, expanded the house, and then put that flue from that soapstone stove to go up. And they made this entire fireplace went all with these huge limestone bricks. Rock went all the way up to the top of the chimney,
Right.
the top of the house. And you cut it off now here, and then you made it smaller?
All right, we cut it off at the edge of the ceiling and then cased that all in to the top of the roof with brick, and then we went back out with rock
Oh, okay.
because we couldn't get the rock down in the hole through the ceiling.
And what were you telling me about when you had to reset all these stones?
Yes.
You had to reset the stones because the mortar was...
The mortar back then was a lot of sand in it, and you could flake it, and it would start getting loose and crumble, and we knew we had a fire hazard eventually since it was inside the house. So that's the reason it came down, and we put a flue liner in it, and then put new mortar in it, and then put the rocks back up.
Yeah, but you were saying that you only could do 3 rows per day.
2 rows a day.
2 rows a day. Tell them
Right.
why.
Well, the reason because the rocks are so heavy, they was push the mortar out.
They just squeeze it out.
They just squeeze it out.
And
These rocks weigh anywhere from minimum of 75, 80 pounds up to 300 pounds.
each.
Uh-huh.
Wow. That's amazing. But your father was a rock mason.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather was a rock mason. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, well, let's sit down and just talk about how things turned out in the cornfield this summer. Because if you go back and you watch that live stream, if you missed it, you can. Here we go. Frances, what's the status? Oh, we've got
There's your,
Oh, hold it. Oh, this is mine.
that one's yours.
Oh my gosh.
Granddaughter. But there it is.
It was made by your granddaughter.
Made by Tim, painted by Audrey.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? What a wonderful gift. What kind of wood is this, Tim?
That is white oak.
How beautiful. Thank you so much. How's the status of the breakfast? Do we have time to chat for a minute?
Do you want fried eggs or scrambled?
I'll take them either way.
Which way you want it?
Fried.
All right.
Easy over.
I got it.
Okay. The renovation that you did on this cabin is amazing, Mary says. You have no idea, Mary. That's only like a very small part of the story of this cabin. They have me entertained for hours. We could just sit for hours. Let me see if we can both get on here. I was going to try to follow along, and when we did a live stream this summer, we were out in the cornfield, and people would ask questions, and they'd be gone before I could get past the question on to Tim. But I couldn't get on their Wi-Fi network. So Tim, tell them how things worked out. And since maybe several of these people, we only have 31 people watching, but other people will watch this later who may have seen you in the cornfield this summer. Tell us about the cornfield and what you planted and how things worked out with the weather, because people might want to know.
Well, we have a good season as far as growing season, enough water, but we have to let the corn sit in the field and let it normally dry. Big farmers pick their corn, put them in bins, and then they take heated air and dry them. We don't do that. We use the same method that our ancestors used. Let it dry in the field with a couple of frost on it, and that sucks the moisture out. Then we go in and pick it. This year, right before we got ready to pick it, we had a storm that came up, went all the way up the East Coast and did a lot of wind damage around here and other places, and it knocked the one gourd seed corn just about on the ground. So we didn't get nearly the yield out of it because a lot of it was on the ground and it got wet and we couldn't use it. So in order to get the corn, we let it dry, the field dry up enough to where we could pick the corn with a picker. And then we sat in the grain bin, 2 of us, for 2 days and went through each ear of corn and shucked it to make sure we got the best pieces of corn and
So
sold the other out.
are you saying that you took each ear and you pulled the corn up?
Well, we shucked it
Okay, how did you shuck it?
by hand. You get at the top of it and pull one way and then grab the
Oh,
other
oh, the
part
shuck,
and pull
I'm
the
sorry,
other way.
but what about the kernels? How
Well,
do
we
you-
have a sheller,
Oh, okay,
corn sheller, and we ran it through. We had a hand sheller, which we cranked, and we shelled about 600 pounds in a couple of days. So it didn't take long to shell it. The machine does a fabulous job, and it was built back in the early 1900s. But we still use a lot of old stuff
yeah,
to do our farming.
well, if you go back and I'll try to post a link to that original video. We went to the mill, and he was telling me last night, well, we won't go into that whole diversion thing, but but anyway, the big stone, limestone, what do you call the actual stone?
Well,
Is it
they're
called-
actually, we call them limestone milling stones.
Okay, so milling stone. He had that was offline when we did that in 2012, and it's been offline ever since.
Right.
You've just been using your power your,
We have a portable mill that's made by a mill company in Meadows, North Carolina, and we pull it with a tractor engine.
okay.
So it sits on a trailer so we can move it around. We take it to shows and things.
Oh, that's right. They go to shows around the South,
Mm-hmm.
and they show people how, and talk to people and demonstrate how they do this, how they keep the old heritage corn methods, growing methods, and grinding and shelling, all those methods alive. You use a lot of old machinery,
Mm-hmm.
and so when you said you were saying that. Was it your partner? You have a partner
Yes.
now. I mean, you have had a partner, and he's the one that looked out and saw that storm coming.
No, that was my partner that's in the farming business.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that planted the corn for us. He's got the land, and he plants it, and he's the one that spotted the storm and knew that it was going to tear up something, and it did. It went through that cornfield. It didn't hurt the hickory king because it's got a big stalk on it. and
That's
it's
what I
well
wanted you to
rooted.
talk about.
Well rooted, and it didn't.
The stalk is. Show them how big the stalk is.
It's about this big, and it has 3 or 4 rows of
Meaning rings.
rings at the bottom of it that are
Oh.
actually roots, and so it's got a big root base on it. It kind of pushed it, but it didn't knock it plumb to the ground. The other corn does have a very shallow root base to it, and it pushed a lot of it over and then some on the ground. And once it hit the ground, we couldn't use it. But so
Because it rots, or it.
once it gains moisture in it, it'll.
Oh, yeah, you can't grind it.
use it. So
Oh gosh. So you only got about 10% out of that whole
probably
Jefferson corn.
probably 25% out of it.
Wow.
We saved that much.
Wow. And so, do you feel like the fact of the roots, the fact that it's more susceptible to storms, the fact that there's more chaff on it and less meat, or what do you call the actual
We used to call it the meat of the corn.
the meat of the corn? Do you feel like it's still worth pursuing?
Yes, because of the taste of it is different. It's probably the sweetest corn meal that you'll eat. It's naturally sweet. And that's why everybody's starting to get a rave out of it that we talk to. And you can find it online. It's very, very expensive. It's like 24, 25 cents a kernel. So what we've done is we had a handful of it. We planted. We got the grain off of it. And then we planted a bigger patch and then had enough to plant this year's patch.
So this is the third planting.
Third planting.
Oh,
So
okay.
next year we'll have plenty of seed to plant a much bigger field.
And at that time, are you going to offer seed for sale?
Yes, we're going to try that this year. Next
Okay.
year we're going to try to sell some seed, and because it's just not out there. You know, this they kind of it's a secret that's just now getting out about the corn.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be a good corn.
Can you tell them again how this came to be available to you, or how it? I forgot the story.
Well, a fellow had went to Williamsburg, and they had a demonstration up there, and they were talking about the grain, and they had a bowl of corn seed, and when the guy left, he got a handful of the corn and put it in his pocket and brought it back to Tennessee and planted it, and after about 3 or 4 years, he finally had enough to take to a mill and have it ground, and given the friend of mine, which is the miller up there, called me and told me about the corn, and I went up there, and he gave me a bag of corn, and that we went through and picked out the best, and that's how we got started. So it's just a handful got us started through him, and that's how we got where we are today.
So you always, for people who don't know this, there may be some that don't know this, you actually look at the corn. Actually, I don't know. Let me see if I can hold it closer. You actually look at each kernel and you decide, well, you don't when you plant a whole field, but if someone were planting this in their garden, they would need at least 16 plants, right? That's
Right.
the way I understand it.
Right.
Because corn needs, all right, I watched that like, oh, thank you, all right. Corn needs, for germination, corn needs wind or rain.
Right.
And here you have both.
They have both.
We don't have that in California. We don't have the rain. It doesn't rain all summer long. So I would just go out every day and shake.
That's one way to do it. One year we had a real dry spell and it didn't rain at all. So we put, out of a 5-acre field, we completely put a sprinkler system about 10 feet in the air, and then we pumped water to it, and that broke it up, and we had germination on it. And actually, we were the only one around the area that actually had sweet corn to eat, and this corn came up, the Hickory King come up. So we had a good production. Everybody else was mad because theirs didn't turn out good, and I said, well, you just didn't know how to water it right.
You didn't know how to make it germinate.
Make it germinate.
Yeah. So, but if you're just doing it in your home garden,
You
my
can-
understanding is
you can shake it.
you can do square foot gardening. You can do 4x4 square foot gardening, and have 16 plants. And I think, don't you think it's smart to put at least 2 seeds in each hole?
It is.
Or
It
3
is.
maybe?
You can always pull one of them up if it
Yeah.
doesn't look good or if it doesn't come up.
Yeah, and I don't often get rid of a one that comes up because I think, oh, what if that turns out to be the best one?
Right.
But if you don't, then they compete.
They do, for the
And-
same amount of water and nutrients.
Yeah, and especially I don't know if you saw, but I grew a 16 pot corn patch in my driveway
That's neat.
in cloth pots this summer, and I did not. I should have. I did not on the ones that had more than one that came up. I did not eliminate,
Suffer.
and I should have done that. And I only got a few. I just don't have the sun, and but I would shake them, and I got a few. They tasted really great, but But anyway, Tim is. How's that breakfast coming there, Francis?
It's coming in about 2 minutes, the biscuits will be done.
We're going to have a biscuit in 2 minutes, so you're going to have to stay with us. I love the idea of square foot gardening. Corn, Mary says. I didn't hear the rest of it. What else can we tell that would be helpful information? Oh, I wanted to just mention, I just found out that this guy, they love so many old things. There's so many antiques in this place. It would be a 2-hour live stream to go around and see everything. Just the story on that painting up there alone.
Yes.
Remember that story on that painting?
Right, the painting.
Maybe I'll show. You can tell them about the
I
painting,
can
then
tell you
we'll go
about
see
it.
it.
You can show the picture to them, but the picture, there was a hotel here. Bon Aqua in Latin means good water, and that's what was developed, was health
Bon
water.
Aqua in Latin means good water.
Right.
Not only in Latin, but in Bon Aqua, that's French too.
Yeah.
Bon Aqua, okay.
So they called it that because of all the water that was sulfur water that had different colors to it. And they built a big hotel, it had 105 rooms in it back in the 1800s, and it progressed until about 1940, till economy went down because of the war and never restarted. And
You had a train coming through here.
we had a train, still have a train through here,
But not
doesn't
passenger.
run much, no.
No, not passenger.
But they did bring passengers when they would come to the hotel.
I know, that's what I was, yeah. That's how you could really have a thriving business, is because the train pulls up and people could come from up north or where, and they came for the spring.
Came for the sulfur spring.
It's sulfur springs, which are supposed to be very beneficial. In fact, when do you have spring water coming into your tap?
No, we have sulfur water comes in our tap. We have a well.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because when you turn on the water in the bathroom, there is a bit of a sulfur
A little
smell.
bit of odor. Mhm.
And do you feel that it
It's-
benefits your
I've never
skin?
noticed it.
Okay.
It's hard water, so it's hard to wash with and things like that. But we get all our drinking water from a spring that is non-sulfur. So we cook with that and we use that to drink and all. And it's another lot of areas around here has a lot of springs. So we have good water, and people have been sought to come to this area because of the water back in the 1800s all the way up until they shut the facilities down.
I'm trying to tell Tim and Francis to keep their eye on a piece of property for me that has a spring. I want a spring in case something comes up. Oh my goodness, Francis, get down here.
I'm here.
Look at these biscuits, people. You see the steam coming off of that? Well, I can see the steam. I don't think they can see the steam. And Mary says, okay, that would be wonderful. Oh, I almost can't wait. Give me one with butter and molasses on it.
You gotta fix it yourself. Missy.
Just do that for me.
It's
Make
great.
that happen. Make that
Not gonna happen.
Somebody said that my opener is beautiful, and I'm so happy. If you just tuned in, I have been gifted this wonderful jar opener that Tim made out of white oak. And on one side of this jar opener is a saw blade embedded on one side. The other side is just plain. And you can open everything from a Coke bottle to
Quart jar.
a quart jar. Wow, that's amazing. And as you get older, it's just hard to grip,
I used to do them without any problem. Now I have to go to that.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, we were going to look at that. Daryl says he's been drinking spring water since he was only spring water since he was 20, and I know that all his life, and now that's why he only looks like he's 20.
Yeah.
Daryl has a
Good
big
for you.
white beard and big, but he does look youthful. He is youthful. Thank you. So anyway, about the painting. So there's a story behind this painting that's on the wall up there.
Right. This is two of the Golden girls, and it was a family that moved in about 1900 and for the Springs, and they had money, and they always had fine horses and fine dresses, and they used to go to the balls at Monaco Spring. And my mother was born in 1913, so at about 1920 she was a young girl, and they took to her and put her on her horses and let her ride around. But they had a picture made. It's a studio picture that was done, and then somebody hand painted it.
Yeah.
They didn't have color photographs back then.
No, everything was hand tinted.
And it hung in the hotel until they tore the hotel down, and then I bought it when they sold all the stuff out of the
Artifacts.
hotel.
Yeah.
I bought it because I knew the history on it.
Well, is your mother's not in this photo? It's just
No.
the two girls.
Two of the Golden girls.
Oh.
And that was her last name, Golden.
Golden. Yeah, sort of like the TV show, but not that. Here's the painting.
Can you turn the light on?
Yeah, let's have the light there, Tim. I mean, it's actually beautiful without adding a light, but look at that. What a life, huh? To be even in a dress like that, you'd have to kind of be poured into it, I think. It looks just like Gone with the Wind or something. That's amazing. This is a gas fireplace here, but it makes a great, look at this great hall. I love this dining hall.
And all the furniture is handmade.
And what?
All the furniture in here is handmade.
Okay, Tim just said, I don't know if you heard that, but Tim said all the furniture in this room is handmade. And is it old?
No, it's my father-in-law made it back in the 80s and 90s.
Wow. So your father was a woodworker, Francis.
Yes, he was. He didn't know that until he retired. And then he just looked at pictures and was able to make anything.
Wow.
And everything he made, I said, I want one.
Right.
He'd make me one.
He didn't make furniture until he was retired?
Right.
Wow. What did he do as a profession?
He worked at Ford Glass Plant.
Oh, okay.
Maintenance.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Look at this. He made this too?
He did.
Wow. That is so beautiful. Okay. I just have to do this because
Good luck with that.
no, I wasn't going to show the inside. No, I just, when something is well made, it just has a nice feel to it. And so I guess he made all of these pieces. Well, what did you just set him to work? This was like a year of work, I would
No,
think.
He'd finish something in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Did he make the table
He
too?
did.
Table and all.
Not the chair. He made the chairs? Oh my goodness. Holy smokes.
He'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, start working till about 6 at night, and then he'd finish it, and it would become a damn thing. Get it out of my shop. And we'd have to get half a dozen people, because it's solid,
Yeah,
to get it out.
yeah.
Because he'd say, I'm gonna burn it if you don't get it out.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, he was a
When he finished it, he was done.
that's an ironing board right there.
What do you mean?
This right here is an ironing board. It has an ironing board on the back side of it.
Well, how do you,
Oh,
oh,
but I don't use it as an ironing board.
you mean you pull the board out somehow?
Yeah,
Wow,
and then he made the cases and stuff.
wow, wow.
Made my staircase in the den.
What is the most unusual piece you have, or the craziest history of a piece that you have, furniture or painting or the paint?
This piece down here, he built him and his wife a casket out of solid cherry.
And he was making me one.
Your mother and father,
He
he
had beautiful caskets.
Made out of cherry.
Cherry, and he was making me one.
And
he was
this piece
making you a
here-
casket when he died, or?
Nope, I stopped him.
Oh.
Because I said, I don't want that beautiful wood to go in the ground. And so I said, you can stop right there, that was the inside box, put bevel glass on it, and get me a curio cabinet.
A curio cabinet, yeah.
That's my casket.
This fit inside the casket.
Mhm.
This box did, and then they would line it. But this is what it turned out to be.
Wow.
Mhm.
Look at all of
So
that.
that's sort of strange. But the caskets that he made, they stored them at the funeral home, and they said that, they're $10,000 or $12,000 caskets.
Right.
Because they were beautiful and solid cherry.
Okay. Do we have time for the rooster story before our eggs go cold?
Whatever.
Okay.
They can tell you the rooster story.
Well, but you loved that rooster. You had a pet that was a rooster.
Right.
Okay. And how did that rooster become a pet?
Well, at school, a friend of mine.
First of all, let's just say school. You guys are both school teachers. You're
Correct.
still
I'm still
teaching.
teaching.
42 years.
46 years.
46 years still teaching on a reduced
Contract,
schedule,
yeah.
on contract. And Tim, you taught for how long?
32.
32 years? Wow. Okay, so at school, somebody gave you a chicken?
Right, my friend hatched eggs, as a classroom experiment, and she gave all the chicks away except for one. And the one that she couldn't give away, she gave to me because she knew I had yard chickens. And so I talked to an old farmer, and the old farmer said, just powder your chickens and they'll take it, because it's a baby. Well, the hen...
Powder them with baby powders?
Yeah, I could catch them all, so I powdered them all. And then she about flogged it to death before I could get it away from her. And then we put him in a clothes basket with a top, a lid, and had a roost. And he lived in the house until he was about grown. He'd go out with me.
But you didn't know he was a boy for a long time.
We decided he'd either have to lay an egg or crow. But he acted more like a dog. He could ride in the car. He would follow me, and when I'd call him, he'd come. And he was a novelty. People would bring him bird seed because we called him Bird, because he looked like he was in a bird cage. And he was a sweet pet. You should not love a chicken because they are the low end of the food chain. So we'll leave it with that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bird would peck on the door to go out,
Correct.
to use the bathroom,
Correct.
and peck on the door to come back in,
To get bread.
to come in and get bread. Would he spend most of the time outside or
When he
inside?
was
Oh,
grown, he spent most of his time outside.
now, did he rule the females, or
Yes.
did you have other roosters?
He had others, but they never did grow up to be big like him.
And he was how big?
He was a big.
He was a big chicken.
He was big. He had the big chicken with pretty feathers. That's all we know. We don't know
What did you
about
say, Tim? You said you could hold out your hand, and he would.
I could hold my hand up, and I could pick him up off the ground and lay him up to me, and I could pet him.
that. Yeah.
He would run to me.
Wow. And how did he know not to go to the bathroom in the house?
I don't know. But after, he became grown, he stayed outside 90% of the time, so.
I'm getting some comments about teaching and how wonderful it is to have people who care so much to be good teachers. And Francis, could you just share that one story you told me last night about that girl that you couldn't, she didn't know any reading at all. Can you just tell me that story that you told me about her, and then how that turned out?
Yes, I had a child that was, she couldn't read. And so,
How old was she?
she was in 4th grade.
You teach reading, I should say that.
Right now I do. And she finally got it. It was hard. We did intense reading therapy. And she looked around at me one day and she said, there are words everywhere. And I said, yes, there are, baby. And she was able to read. And by the time she was in 5th grade, she got the reading award, having improved the most in that year. So that's one of my success stories and her success stories. So
yeah,
she
but
can read now.
What did you think when she said that? There are words everywhere.
There are words everywhere, yeah. And I didn't realize that she really didn't even know what a word was. I knew that she couldn't read.
Yeah.
But she didn't know what a word was.
Like on signs and
everything, yeah. She read a balloon, a Valentine balloon.
Oh yeah.
And then she said, she read it. She said, there are words everywhere. I said, yes.
She said that says Happy Valentine's, or
yeah. She was able to read Happy Valentine's.
Wow. Well, I think that's time for breakfast, don't you, Tim? I'm starving.
Let's go.
Let's do it. So should we eat right here?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm going to set this up, and I just want you to see the breakfast before we start chowing down. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Does anybody have any questions for Tim regarding grinding corn, heritage corn, growing heritage corn, or any other thing that we've talked about? Let's see. Enjoy that glorious breakfast with biscuits. You're going to see me bite into one. That's going to happen. Do I have to come in there and decorate it? Oh, let's here. Yeah, let's check this out. Okay, here we have the biscuits. Oh, we have those. You're in the South. You got to have. Ooh, we got orange juice. We got. Tell me about this.
It's freezer jelly.
What is freezer jelly?
Eating sausage now.
You don't have to can it.
No, and you take fresh fruit and mix your gel with it. Stick it in the freezer. It's like eating fresh strawberries.
Wow, and fried eggs.
And they didn't come out pretty.
Okay.
That's okay. I cooked them in the grease from the sausage and they sort of stuck.
We need more country teachers. We need to bring our flag back. Yeah, Toby, that would help. Let's see. Offer seed available to the general public. What variety variety would you recommend to small garden growers? Lisa, you're probably talking about sweet corn, right?
Sweet corn, probably.
You're probably not talking, Lisa. You're probably not talking about growing corn for grinding, because you'd have to have a lot more than 16 stalks.
Right.
What would you recommend for sweet corn?
Any of the heritage white corns, Hickory King, Trucker's Favorite. There's a lot of varieties. The thing about it is that you have a very short window to harvest it, like a 3-day window, because when it comes in the milk stage is when you have to pick it, and if you let it go 3 or 4 days, it goes to hard.
How do you know? That's something I don't know. How do you know what is the proper time to pick it?
Well, we watch it and go down and check it, and then we just stick our nail in it, and when it's milky and the kernels are developed, and then it's ready to pick.
But there must be a visual cue when you see
you
it.
look at the tassels to make sure they've turned brown, and the tassels that are coming out of the corn, which is the hair coming out of the corn, is starting to turn. You're getting real close to it.
Starting to turn brown?
Starting to turn brown.
Okay, and if they go all the way to brown, is it too late?
It's about too late.
Oh, wow. I think I've done that many times. Okay. All right. Hopefully that answered your question, Lisa. There are so many. Bicolor sweet corn for the first time this summer, and I follow your suggestion, Kaye, to plant 16, shake them. Some I ate raw, also cooked. That's great, Emily. I don't think there was a question there, but all right, let's see. Do I need to get my plate? Okay, I'm going to set this down. Well, you don't really need to see me eat, do you? I'm sure you don't. The stove is amazing. It is a replica, and it's called Heartland.
Yeah.
Heartland. It is amazing, and they had an opportunity. They went down to look for that stove down where in Alabama?
Huntsville.
In Huntsville, Alabama. And they were told that this woman had bought all three of these pieces, and they could. She kept thinking she was going to build a cabin. She kept moving everywhere, and she was tired of moving them around, and she sold all 3 pieces for $5,000, which is probably a quarter of what the whole thing.
The list was 17,000.
17,000 for all 3.
What the list was on.
I'm not surprised. Yes, Lisa. Yeah, I do too. Would you? Yeah, I don't know if somebody gave you some corn, you probably wouldn't try it, would you? Would you try anything different at this point?
Yeah, we'll look at anything. I like to look at different types of corn. I like the history of it.
Okay, Daryl, can you just put that comment back up, because I can't see it now. Daryl said he would like to send you some. Daryl, what was it? You'd like to send him? Mary said the history and the knowledge that you share is wonderful. I wanted to show you his 1961 Corvette.
It's dirty.
But he won't let me because it's dirty. I'm going, who cares if it's dirty? It's a 1961 Corvette. You know my father was a Chevrolet dealer. Remember?
Yeah.
I missed that comment. Anyway, did you ever buy a car from my dad?
No.
You never did?
He went out of business before I got old enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it did happen. Yeah. See you, Toby. One doesn't show a dirty car, Kaye. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, I won't press the point then. We gotta get that food. Let's get the food. Hold on, guys. Our food's getting cold. Come on, friends.
2 eggs.
What?
Fixed you 2.
Oh, good.
They're so little.
That's okay. This is perfect. There you go. No, that. I love that. Love that. Love that. Want that. I want some butter. And
Tim took off the butter.
okay,
He took off with the butter and the molasses.
I already got the cheese. Okay. Oh, you got the molasses? Okay, guys, you are having breakfast at the Hobbs in Bon Aqua, Tennessee, and we are having homemade biscuits. You saw them being made. I've got fried eggs here. I've got country sausage. I'm sorry, you'd have to put that up again. I missed it. The man who makes he grows his own hogs, and he opens the store. What did you say, Tim? He opens the store for 2 months every year and sells all the, hey, Lori. Thank you, everybody. Hit me a thumbs up if you don't mind. Just, if you can't do it on mobile, do it when you get off of the live stream. I'd really appreciate that. What was I just saying? About the man who does grows the hogs. He only has the store open for 2 months.
Right, he has it open about 2 months. He raises hogs during the summer and has a meat producing place, and then basically can sell all he has stored. He sells country hams, they're a year old. He sells bacon that's smoked and non-smoked, and sausage, of course, and some beef. But about 2 months, they sell out, and then wait for the next fall, start again.
And you smoked it, and tell me how. Oh, that's so good. How do you smoke sausage?
Well,
for people who don't know.
Well, you put it in a cloth bag and make a tube out of it, about 3 pounds, and then you hang it in a building, and then you take hardwood that put it in a big tub that we put a lid on it so it creates smoke, and smoke it for about 3 days is all. If you smoke it much longer than that, it kind of wants to get hard, and it's not as good. But about 3 days is about the limit on it.
You have to keep the fire going for 3 days?
3 days.
You have to keep going back out and feeding the fire?
Twice a day. And we use dry wood, so it don't have any kind of creosote or anything built up in it.
Oh, what is the creosote, toxic?
That's the green stuff, the black stuff that you see accumulate in different places, fireplaces and things. So if you let the wood dry out real good, you don't have that.
Wow. Hey guys, does anybody remember, Francis, can I push this back? Just that one piece, if you just move that one piece, so we can see, I can see, and you guys slide down this way as much as you can. So you're in the shot.
I don't necessarily want to be in the shot.
She doesn't necessarily want to be in the shot, she says. Don't worry, you're not in it.
Good.
Look, it's just me.
Good.
Okay, guys,
Just eat on them, girl.
we're eating. And, oh shoot, I'm so sorry, everybody. It's collapsing. Okay. They're calling for me to do this, so thank you so much for joining this live stream. I am signing off with sausage in my mouth. Please hit the like button on the way out. If you enjoyed this live stream, this morning breakfast with the Hobbs, please let me know. Leave a comment. Share this live stream with people. We want to keep the ideas of the old ways and the old things alive. We want to keep the knowledge of our elders who grew our food alive. We don't want all of these important, I mean, growing food is like the most important thing you can do because everybody eats. And we just want to keep all of this information alive. So I really appreciate you tuning in. Please share this live stream and have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your weekend. Does Tim have a channel?
No.
Tim does not know his Wi-Fi password. Does that tell you?
Try to stay off the grid.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Oh, wait. I was just going to say, what's the next live stream? Tomorrow's Sundays. I'll have my usual Sunday live stream at this would be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, Sunday. And I'm not sure where I'll be, but I'll have a live stream, so please tune in. Bye, Rebecca. Take care, everybody.